Hello, hello, hello. Hey there. Hey there. All right, let's see here. Hi, Trish. How are you? All right, let's see here. Let's turn that there. Okay. Hey, everybody. It is day. Hey, K Caesar 86. Hey, Facebook. Hey, Periscope. Hey, Instagram. Good evening. Welcome to day 6 of 30 days of thanks. Okay. Hey, Ruth. Hey, Bernice. Hey, Janique. Hey. All right. We are on day 6 of 30 days of thanks. 30 daily devotions for cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Hey, Regina. How are you? So let me pull this up. And as I always do, I'm sharing. Hey, 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 hey. How is everybody this evening? Yes, thank you for the hearts. Let me do a little sharing here. This is like super weird. Can I just tell you? Like, I'm not even sure if I'll ever get used to it, but it's just weird being on like this late. Like, I used to do late night scopes, and then, hey there, hey Melina, how are you? And so it's been a minute since I've been doing like late night scopes. I'm normally getting the little person in bed. So yes. Hey boss lady, how are you, love? I am just sharing. All right. Good morning, good morning, good evening. See, I'm so used to saying good morning, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. So welcome to 30 Days of Thanks, Day 6 with Trueheart Speaks. I am Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and I Speak Life mentor. It says, listening to you, you get my mind right and help me stay focused. Well, praise God. I'm excited about that because I'm here to help you get out of your own way and get to the business of living. I am good. You know what? I actually am really good because tomorrow I'm excited that I get to sleep in. Tuesday is normally a work day for me at church, and the office is closed on Friday and Tuesday. We're closed on national holidays. So not only is my son off of school, but I'm off of work, which means that I do not have to get up. I do not have to take him to school. I get to sleep in, which I normally don't sleep in. But the fact that I get a chance to just lay in the bed if I want to, can I just tell you how excited I am about that? Now, mind you, I do have work to do. We have Renovate Live on Wednesdays, which is our student ministry. So Tuesdays is normally the day that I spend getting ready for Wednesday. So even though, you know, I may not necessarily be in the office for the entire time, I'm probably going to go in just because there's some stuff that I need to do, some emails that I will send out, all that juiciness. Hey, Candace. Hey, Tamika. How are you? So, yeah. So it's totally not like I'm just, hey, Zipporah. How are you, love? Hey, Stephanie, how are you? I see you all joining in. I'm just moving some stuff around, and we're going to get started. So if you guys want to share some hearts, and the hearts just kind of let me know that you're with me. They just let me know that we are, you know, that I can see you and you can hear me, and we're just giving love because you're enjoying what you're here. It says always nice to have a sleep-in morning. It is. And, you know, this time last year, I was doing the morning life scope every single day. So because I was doing it every single day, like on a day like tomorrow when Dallas would be in the bed, I still would have to get up and do my morning life scope. And as much as I love doing my morning life scopes, you know, on a day like when I don't have to take him to school, listen, Linda, just, right? So how is everybody? Is everybody doing okay? I was a little chilly. I guess I can take this sweatshirt off of my arms. How is everybody? How are you? How are you? How are you? I see you all popping in on Facebook, Instagram, and Periscope. Doing good. Doing good. That's good. All right. Nice. Hey, Faye. Good evening. How are you? Just giving people a couple of minutes to sign in. All right. Let's see here. All right. chance I can see comments here. Okay. All right. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Roz. How are you? Tiffany, at some point, we're totally going to connect. Like, this is just enough. Enough is enough already. I'm just probably going to just have to just, I don't know. We're going to figure this thing out. Hey, Nina. How are you, love? Hey, Grace2280. Hey, everybody joining on Periscope, Facebook, and Instagram. We're reading from 30 Days of Thanks. My book, 30 Daily Devotions for Cultivating an Attitude of Gratitude. Yes, it's just like enough is enough. Like, we've been playing like games with this thing, and I'm just going to just like literally follow you around until I can get your stuff to you, because it's way too long. It's sitting literally back here on my bookshelf. Like, for real. All right, so let me pull all of this over so I can actually see comments and stuff come in. Hey there, everybody on Instagram. Hey, Periscope, and hey, Facebook. So let's get started reading. So let's just double tap really quickly. Double tap the screen. Everybody double tap. Let me see some hearts. Let me see some heart love, some like love, all of that good stuff, just to let me know you are here. We are on day 6 of 30 Days of Thanks, and I am super excited to be here. I'm super excited just about what God is going to be doing in everybody's life. I'm excited about what He's already doing, but I think just the commitment that we're making over these next 30 days. I know for me, even just reading my own stuff is weird, but good, because I read it and I'm like, wow, this is like really good. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Like, it's speaking to me, you know what I mean? And it is heightening my level and my level of gratitude. You know what I mean? Hey, Tyra, how are you, love? So I'm super excited just to kind of just go through this again. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing, when you're writing the book, and it's one thing to read it, and then it's another thing to read it again. So I'm just, I'm excited. So let's jump in, because I try not to keep y'all late at night. We're on day 6, which is health. And if you had an opportunity to read day 4 and 5 over the weekend, day 4 was family, and day 5 was basic necessities, and it was really good. And I quoted something yesterday from day 5 just because it was so good. Hey, Janice, how are you? So yes, so let's read day 6, which is health. If you have the book, you can read along. If not, you can listen. Make sure you have your notebook available to do the journal assignment, so that you can do this as we're going along. If you have the journal, then you can write in the journal as we're going along. If you don't have the book, you can go to Amazon to order the book, or you can go to trueheartspeaks.com/30 Days of Thanks. Let me just put this in here. Let me make sure this is what I want it to be. It is. Okay. So you can go off if you're on Instagram, you can see that link. And then there's a link on both Periscope and Instagram where you can click that link, and it'll take you to a list of things, and you can click get my book. And the best part about going to my website is if you want the book and the journal together, it's $25 on my website. But if you get the book and the journal on Amazon, then that means you have to pay $15 plus whatever it is. And the good thing is when you pay for shipping, I mean, obviously if you have Prime, you don't have to pay for it on Amazon, but if you don't, I do priority shipping, and so you get it no matter where you are within 2 days anyway. So either one is fine, whichever one is quicker if you want to use. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Welcome back. Hopefully you had a good day of rest and prayer. I know I did. So let's get to reading. So we're on day 6. So at the top it says, health is like money. We never have a true idea of its value until we lose it, by Josh Billings. How good is that, right? Health is like money. We never have a true idea of its value until we lose it, which is so true, right? You never appreciate anything until all of a sudden, something that starts going bad, and you're like, ooh, Lord, I should have took better care of that. Let me just make sure my little thing is looking a little crooked, but maybe that's just me. I might be okay, but it looks crooked. All right, so let's read. It says, if you are anything like me, you are in the best shape. You eat what you want. You never gain a pound. You exercise daily, and you feed your spirit and your mind, as well as take time for rest. Are you thinking not? Well, good, because that's not me either. Yet God still blesses us with our health. 3 John 1 and 2 in the King James Version says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. The NIV version says, Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health, and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. Yes, God wants you to be in good health. He doesn't just want you to prosper, but he wants all to be well with you. Therefore, on this day, take time to give thanks for your health. I'm not just talking about your physical health. I'm also referring to your spiritual health, your mental health, and your emotional health. No matter what condition your health is in, you have a responsibility to give thanks to God, especially if you have experienced some struggles in any of these areas of your life, of your health. But you may be saying, but Detra, you don't know what I'm going through right now. And yes, you're right, but God knows, and that's all that matters. We all have hurdles to jump over, but in the end, we still have our health, whether it's operating at maximum or minimum capacity, and we must take good care of it. Sometimes our health is attacked for many different reasons, but if you've made it through those challenges, knowing that there are others who didn't, then you should be thankful. In whatever state your health is in right now, thank God for it. Although you can't always determine what happens to you, you should at least be doing your part to stay healthy. Thank God for allowing you to escape and get past cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, a stroke, a heart attack, depression, anxiety, or even spiritual starvation and deprivation. Thank him for sending you what you needed to get out of that rut. Thank him for allowing enough grace upon your life so that you can eat what you want whenever you want. Some people are just that blessed. However, though there are those of us who are not. I don't know about you, but I used to be able to eat what I wanted, but now I had pushed over the hump. Really, once I hit over 35, y'all, like literally I couldn't eat whatever I wanted. But there are some people who can. They can eat whatever they want. And so if that's you, don't take that for granted. Be thankful, because some people can't do that. It says, either way, thank God for your situation, not somebody else's. And so this is where this comes in, because some of us are better off than others when it comes to health. And no matter where you are, child, how are you? No matter where you are, no matter what's going on, no matter what's happening as it relates to your health, we want to be thankful for that, right? And so whatever your state your health is in right now, thank God for it. Although you can't always determine what happens to you, you should at least be doing your part to stay healthy. I think I said that already. There is no time for making comparisons, especially if you are suffering with something, knowing that others are not. No need in asking the Lord why it couldn't be someone else, because this month we're focusing only on Thanksgiving and developing a consistent attitude of gratitude. We're thanking God for everything in our lives, good or bad or indifferent, as it relates to health today. We want to be so full of thanks, gratefulness, and appreciation that before we can bring our lips to complain about anything, we automatically start thanking God. And it's so funny because something happened yesterday, and my husband and I were, I literally started to bring my mouth to say something. And I just you know what, Lord, 30 days of thanks. I thank you anyhow. I'm not even asking any questions. Okay, Lord, whatever. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. We'll work through it. And so when you get into the habit of doing that and get into the habit of just trusting God no matter what, not to say that things will automatically get better, but your perspective as you look at it, it changes, and it doesn't automatically, because some things you just automatically get stressed about. Some things you just automatically get you start worrying and you start doubting. And when you start developing that and cultivating that attitude of gratitude and thanking God no matter what, then you really get to the point of saying, God, well, whatever happens, I trust you no matter what. And we really have to get to that place, specifically with our health. Today we're talking about health. I once heard someone say, if it isn't God sent, it can definitely be God used. Your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual ailment may not be God sent by God, but he can definitely use your story for his glory. So no matter what is happening with your health, take some time to give thanks for it, and then take the initiative to make it a priority to develop, maintain, and enjoy good health. If you do your part, then God will do his part. So that's the beginning part. And it's interesting because it says, because that was me today, but I just started thanking him instead of complaining, right? And so I think it's important for us to recognize that. So I'm reading, I think it's upstairs. And you've heard me talk about this. So my church, we're reading a book called Kill the Spider by a guy named Carlos Whitaker. And Carlos struggled with depression and anxiety. And so one of the things that he talks about in the book, thank you so much. One of the things that he talks about in the book is how he was able to work through it, right? And how using God's word to help him combat depression and anxiety, that was something that he struggled with. And he says that he even remembered, as a kid, he was a worrier. And so being in a space where for some of us, maybe it's not physical health, but maybe it's mental health. Maybe we deal with some mental, health issues that, we're worriers, we're stressors, we have anxiety, whatever the case may be. you know, we go back to day one where we say, I thank you, Lord, that it's not worse off, right? That it could be worse, right? And, you know, Lord, I thank you that maybe today is not a good day, but I thank you anyway that I'm able to experience today, right? And so, you know, for those of us who, you know, in this group who may deal with mental illness, right? Or mental health, or, you know, even with your spiritual health, right? Your spiritual health may not necessarily be where you want it to be. And so because your spiritual health is low, because your spirituality, your relationship with God is at an all-time low, what ends up happening is, and some of you have heard me say this, is that what you feed grows, what you feed leads. And so if you tend to grow and feed the natural part of you and you starve the spiritual part of you, then what happens is that's the part that takes over. And so you got to decide and really figure out what it is that you want to lead in your life. And it's got to be a God-led thing. It's got to be. So when we talk about this, let's talk a little bit about the journal assignment. And so I will read this a little slow for those of you who don't have the book. And it says, take some time today to meditate on your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health. Take a quick assessment of yourself with yourself. Ask yourself, am I doing everything I can to take the best care of me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? I want you to ask yourself that. And I really want you to be honest with yourself. Are you doing everything that you can to take the best care of you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? And for some of us, the answer may be yes. And for some of us, the answer may be no. Like real talk. There may be some things. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Sharon. Thank you for joining. There may be some things that we need to reassess. Some things that we need to kind of take a look at and say, you know what, I'm not really doing the best that, hey, Fatima, how are you? I'm really not doing the best that I need to. And I really need to do a little bit better as it relates to my mental, emotional, physical, or my spiritual health. If yes, write down what you've been doing and how you can continue with that routine. Because some of you, you're doing what you need to be doing. And so if you're doing that, talk a little bit about the process. Talk a little bit about how you got there. Like have you always been there? Or was there a change that, you know, you're like, you know what, I remember when I wasn't. I remember that this happened and I just decided that this. Sometimes it's good to reflect on that kind of stuff because you can say, Lord, I thank you that I'm not where I used to be. And if not, write down what you need to do in those areas that you're lacking. Ask God to help you be more disciplined in that area, then start doing it. Lastly, take some time to write your thank yous to God for your health. You may want to jot down who you may need in your life to help you with this. I.e., you may need a personal trainer. You may need a counselor. You may need a nutritionist, maybe your pastor, spiritual advisor, maybe your primary care doctor, your eye doctor, etc., maybe your OBG. And if you're not up to date on any of your annual appointments, schedule those today. That's your journal assignment. And I'm going to read it again because I like to make sure that those of you who don't have the book or the journal, you can go back in this and go back to this video and you can listen to it and you can pause it and you can write and you can go from there. What's the matter, Bud?
I just want to sit with you.
All right, come on. So let's read this again. Sit back and be quiet and sit tight. All right. So it says, take some time today to meditate on your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health. Take an assessment of yourself with yourself, right? So sit down with yourself and say, self, like, am I really... Don't be a distraction, Dallas. And say, you know, am I really doing what I need to be doing? Have conversation with yourself. One of the things that I realize is that, you know, we'll look ourselves in the mirror and act like we don't see what we see. We'll look ourselves in the mirror and we'll act like we don't know what we don't know, right? You would be amazed. And if I asked it, I'm not going to tell y'all to put yourself out there. But I remember the first time I did a live event. And even like I try to teach this to my girls. I run a girls program for teenagers. And you would be amazed at the people who do not look at themselves naked in the mirror. Who do not take the time to look at their bodies because they're ashamed of their bodies. They're ashamed of what their bodies look like. And my thing is, and I tell this to my girls, I said, if you don't know what your body looks like naked and before anything happens, when something happens, how will you know the difference? And for some of you, if you don't take the time, like you don't know the difference between normal and abnormal because you don't take the time to recognize what it's like for you to be normal in your spiritual health. You don't take the time to recognize what it is for you to be normal in your mental health, in your emotional health. What does normal look like for you? So that when abnormal shows up, then you can be able to identify it. And a lot of times we don't want to take the time to ignite while we're in the good. We kind of like just glaze and glide through that until all of a sudden all hell breaks through. And we're like, well, like, I don't know. Like, I never took the time to really think about it. Take some time to be with yourself. Take some time to spend some time with you. So ask yourself, am I doing everything I can to am I doing everything I can to take the best care of me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? If yes, write down what you have been doing and how you can continue with that routine. If not, write down what you need to do in those areas you are lacking. Ask God to help you to be more disciplined in that area, then start doing it. Lastly, take some time to write your thank yous to God for your help. You may want to jot down who you may need in your life to help you with this. So it might be a personal trainer, a counselor, a nutritionist, a pastor, spiritual advisor, your primary care doctor, your eye doctor. It might be your OBG, whatever. It might be an allergist. Like you may find that you're now like allergic to something that you didn't know you were allergic to. And if you have not set up your the date to schedule your annual appointment, schedule those today. So let's pray. Lord, thank you for this date, for day 6 of 30 days of thanks. What do you need? Here. On this day, we say thank you for our health. Thank you that we are healthy in our bodies, our minds, our souls, and our spirits. Thank you for healing and restoration. Thank you for the discipline to do what it takes to maintain a level of health that is pleasing to you. Lord, we're thankful that we are able to make ourselves a priority by taking care of ourselves. Since our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, we say thank you for affording us the opportunity to be good stewards over our bodies, our minds, our souls, and our spirits. Lord, with some of us feeling as if we don't have any time to make these areas of health a priority, we ask you to show us how to make time for ourselves, to take time for ourselves away from the hustle and bustle of life. For we speak those things that be not as though they were. Lord, how awesome it is that you desire for us to prosper and have good health. And for this, we say thank you. Amen.
Amen.
So I don't know about you, but I know like a lot of times when I read this stuff, like it tends to, sometimes convict me because I know like I probably could be doing better in certain areas of my life, right? Specifically as it relates to health. I was working with a personal trainer and life just kind of got in the way. And I took on a new role at church, and so I really did not, it says, and so often we look through ourselves and not at ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I really have been trying to figure out the best way to really focus on, really for me, my physical health. I try to pay attention to my mental, my emotional, and my spiritual health, but the physical health, specifically as somebody who was a dancer and who was very active, as I got older, I wasn't as active as I used to be. And so I think we have to kind of find ways to do things that work for us within the confines of the lifestyle that we're living right now. And if it's a busy lifestyle, then, maybe you just kind of walk the stairs in your house, you pay attention to what you're eating, and maybe you can't get out as often, but you're still mindful of it, right? I'm still mindful that I need this temple and I need this body to operate at the full capacity that's needed in order to bring, to operate in my gift. And so a lot of times we don't think about that. Like, is your body, I remember, I can't remember which workshop it was, Brittany Alamine, she's now Brittany Tucker. That's why I kind of went blank. My personal trainer, I remember when she asked the question, can your body handle the vision? And for some of us, when you look at the vision and you look at the things that you desire, can your body handle it? Are you eating well? Are you drinking well? Are you really doing what is necessary to sustain your body to handle the vision that God has put before you? And for some of us, the reason why we can't bring forth the vision to fruition is not because we're not capable, it's because we don't have the physical ability. We're too tired. We can't concentrate. We got too much going on. So mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we're drained. And so it literally ties into what we talked about this morning on the life scope as it relates to rest. You need to make sure you're getting rest. Your body has to rest to be able to operate at its fullest capacity. And if it's not, then you can't operate at your fullest capacity. So I really want to encourage y'all to keep doing what you're doing if you're doing an awesome job. It says, can your body handle the vision? Yes. Brittany, she talked about that. And I can't remember if it was in August or last year when she presented. And I think it was last year when we did, I think it was like a vision board that with Wits did. And she talked her workshop when we talked, it was actually about the vision, activating the vision. And so mine was activating your faith. Hers was, can your body handle the vision, right? And so I think we have to really and then Lucinda asked a question like, who's on your team? And even, it may have even been Brittany. It was between Brittany or Lucinda. And they asked a question like, who's on your team in 2017? And so I had always in my mind been keeping that. So for some of you, who's on your team? Is your doctor on your team? Is your physical trainer on your team? Is your, we always like to think like accountant and lawyer and all that other kind of stuff. But when you're talking about health, is your therapist on your team? Like you may need a good therapist to be able to guide you through some of these, real messy places in life. And so like, who do you need on your team in 2018 in order to be able to bring the vision to fruition? Not just, a life coach or a business coach or an accountant or a lawyer or, the small business association or whoever it might be, like not those people, but who do you have on your team to keep you sane and to keep you grounded while you're bringing this thing through fruition? And your health is part of that. Your health is part of that. And if you are not, now here's the thing. Some people, like you've been diagnosed with some things, and so it has caused you to pause and that sort of thing. And so I think when we talk about this, you still have a responsibility to give thanks for where you are right now. You still have a responsibility to say, Lord, I thank you that it's not worse. I thank you that you're keeping me. I thank you that, what is it that I can do now, even in the midst of what I'm struggling with? How can I use this to be light to somebody else? There's always something, especially, with no matter what, we all have a responsibility to be light no matter what. And so maybe your 100% operating at 100% might be only 35% because of your health and because of your situation. But are you operating at that 100% of the 35% or whatever it might be? And so, it's perspective. It really is perspective. And so I really want us to take care of our bodies. I want us to take care of our minds. I want us to take care of our spirits. I want us to take care of our souls. I want us to be holistically healthy, right? I don't want us to be beasts at what we do, but who we are, physically, like, when we finish doing what we're doing, it's like we pass out because we're not eating right. We're not drinking water. We're not, and I struggle with water. I hate water. And so in order for me to drink more water, like I have to try to keep it in the house. And I try to drink it with lemon or apple cider vinegar just because it just motivates me to drink it. And so I think the other part is, and it's not in the journal, is acknowledge the parts of you when it comes to, hey, Marissa, how are you, love? Good evening. Hey, Stephanie, I don't know if I said good evening to you, Pumpkin. And so, if there is something that you struggle with, I would ask you to talk to God about that. And I think it's in here. But, if there's something that you're really struggling with, Lord, help me to drink more water. Help me to do better in this area. Help me to drink more vegetables. Help me to, help me, whatever it is, help me to get more rest. Like, show me what it is that I need. If you're not sleeping, right, show me what it is so that I can get more sleep. I'm sure that God has an answer for you. Like, I'm sure that there is. Fresh fruit. Try fresh fruit infused water. That was a tongue twister. I'll try that. That works too. So like if I put something in there, that works. But I normally will just put like a lemon juice or I don't know, something in here. But you see, I'm trying to drink it now. But those of y'all walking around with them gallons of water, you're not going to see that over here. I'm trying though. I do have a water bottle and I try to drink from it. But I think we just have to You know, we have to acknowledge where we fall short, but we can't use that as the excuse as to why, you know, like as our reason why, like, you know, well, you know, I would, but I don't like water. Okay, well, I don't like water, but I know that I need water. And in order for me to, you know, maintain and be healthy and cleanse my system out, you know what I mean? Like, and then we go to the doctor. It's kind of like, you know, one of those situations where it's prevention versus intervention. Lala with the gallon is here. Yes, Lala. It's a few people that I see walking around with the whole gallon of water. And literally, I mean, a whole gallon. Yes, Lovey?
I need the charger because I only have 10%.
Here, Pooh. But yeah, it's like just walking around with tons of water. And I'm just like, Lord, I can't. But I'm trying to do better at it because I know it's good for me. And I know that, like, and I've heard that when you drink water, some of the other things that, you know, I don't necessarily know how to say it, but it's basically water prevents some other things from happening. I'll say that. But the goal is not intervention, it's prevention. It's kind of like the idea of, you know, if you take care of your teeth, then you don't necessarily have to go and get a root canal. You know, some of us wait to go to the dentist until, you know, the tooth is hurting, is hanging out, and you don't know what happened, or you bit something and the tooth broke because you haven't been to the dentist and ain't no Lord knows how long, right? And so, like, doing little things like that now, when we talk about health, Lord, I thank you for my health, but we also have a responsibility to be good stewards of our health and to be good stewards of our bodies, right? We see these pictures of people who are like my mom just celebrated 75 years. And so, like, I want to be in that space where my son can celebrate me at 75 years, God willing. You know what I mean? And even just to go even further than that. But if we want to get to that point of being 50 and 60 and 70 and 80 and 90, and even people who have gotten to be 100 years old, we have got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to be good stewards. We got to at least do our part. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I try not to keep y'all too late. Was this good? Was this helpful? Was this good? Was this good stuff for you? So meditate on this. Meditate on day 6. We'll be back tomorrow night with day 7. Invite somebody, tag somebody, let folks know. I know this is a little late for some people. But I wanted to make sure that I could get this in and it would be at a convenient time. And I didn't necessarily want to do away with, you know, the morning life scope like on a Monday. You know what I mean? I want to make it say, yes, very good. Thank you. It's juicy. Yes, good. So yeah, so I wanted to make sure we could, you know, get this in. And then I also wasn't bound by time. So like on a day like today, Dallas doesn't have school. So we're going to bed after this, but normally he's in bed already. And so if he's in bed, then I don't necessarily have to like be like, okay, I gotta go. I wanted to be able to have time and have conversation with you guys and just talk. And so does anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay. Because I don't want to keep y'all. I just want to just stay for a little bit. And we're normally here like no more than, you know, I don't think we've been here any longer than about 30 minutes. Happy you came on at my second job. Needed to hear a good word. Nice. This is great timing. I'm glad that this is good timing. I'm sure that for some of us, it is a challenge. There's some of us where our automatic inclination is to complain. Our automatic inclination is to go to God and be like, listen, Lord, you tripping. You know, you need to fix this, you know, whatever. And so to be in a space where we are now really cultivating and teaching ourselves that before we start complaining, hey, Dr. T, how are you, love? Before we start complaining or any of that kind of stuff, that we have a spirit of not only expectation, but a spirit of gratitude and thanks on our lips, about what we have before we complain about what we don't have. And so when we talk about the day, you know, today being the day that we give thanks for health, there are some things that we can be thankful for despite the other things that might be going wrong or not going according to plan in our lives. And so I think we need to be thankful for that before we say, okay, Lord, can you fix this? But Lord, I thank you for this before. And sometimes if you just, God, I thank you sometimes if you just stay in gratitude and you start if you think like, when I think of the goodness, when I think of everything that I can be thankful for, sometimes I won't necessarily forget about it, but I forget about the things that I was coming to complain about. And so I think that when we change our perspective and when we change how we see things and we change how we view things over these next 30 days, my prayer is that you will be different. My prayer is that we will be different, that I will be different, that we will go into December with a different perspective about life. And, you know, with so much happening, even you think about just everything that is happening right now between hurricanes and tornadoes and people shooting up churches and people shooting up concerts and people. I mean, there's just so much, you know, just all kinds of craziness that's happening in this world. And so we, you know, our automatic inclination is to get to a place where we could think that there isn't anything for us to be thankful for. But let me tell you that according to 1 Thessalonians 5:18, which was what the book was made, yes, is that in all things, right? If you not, it's right at the beginning of this book. Right here. It's right here in the book. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. In everything. In everything. In all things. Not some things. It's okay, Pooh. Here, sit it up. I know. You're tired. In all things. There is always something to be thankful for. And so, you know, it's just craziness in this world, but I just say, Lord, I thank you anyway. Lord, I love you anyway. Lord, I honor you anyway. Lord, I know, like, in the end, you're going to take care of it. Like, in the end, it doesn't make sense now, but I know that it's going to work out at some point. And so in all things, we give thanks. The good things, the bad things, the ugly things, the, you know, the crooked things, the everything, right? It don't make sense, but Lord, I trust you anyway. I thank you. You know what I'm saying? And so I want us, and I thank the Lord because, you know, for some of us will go to bed with this on our mind as opposed to the stresses of the day. And so I didn't have that plan, but I'm grateful that whoever this is for, it's all right, Pooh. For some of us, I don't know who this is for, but you carry a lot of stress and worry throughout the day. And so this is something that will allow you to change your perspective, and you'll go to bed with your mind focused in gratitude, and you'll be focused on thanks as opposed to complaining or, you know, them folks you're working with or whatever the case may be. And so I'm grateful that this will be, for some of you, the last thing that you will hear before you go to bed. A message of peace, a message of love, a message that is focused on gratitude and thanks and appreciation and being thankful and, you know, and being grateful and all that kind of stuff. Period. So it is 10:38. I am not going to keep y'all, right? You said me, right? You know, I just want, you know, I want you all to just, you know, continue to stay with me on this journey. We're going to go through these 30 days together. And like I said, invite people to, you know, to get the book. Invite people to join us over these next 30 days. Share the video. It's on Facebook, Periscope. You can't share it on Instagram, but you can share it on Periscope, and you can share it on Facebook. Tag some people so that they can listen to it. Go back. I'm going to go back and start creating a playlist on Facebook so that you can listen to it. And I think what I'm going to do is also create a playlist on YouTube, so people who are not necessarily on social media, if they can want to go to, thank you for sharing, Dr. T, and everybody else, if they want to go to YouTube, you know, because I know some people are not on social media, I'm going to work on putting at least the 3 days that we have. Okay, it's 8:38 in Arizona. I keep forgetting that you all are all over the place. So it's a little earlier there. It's probably earlier in some other places too. But for those of us here on the East Coast, I know some of you are getting ready to get into bed. And I'm going to put my little person to bed because he really hasn't had a nap. So I know as soon as I lay him down, he's going to be clonked out. But I love y'all. And as my pastor said, God owes us nothing. And we think about the baseline of him owing us nothing, then we can be more grateful for what we do have. Absolutely. 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 He doesn't owe us anything. He really doesn't. And so I think if the least that we can do is be thankful and grateful. Yesterday was really good. So Dr. T is asking about church. I spoke at church yesterday, and it was really good. It was really good. It was good. Like, I don't know else how to explain it. A few of the people who were there who came up to me and just said that, and my prayer is always, Lord, help me speak in a way that, you know, the people who need it can get it. You know what I mean? And I try to keep my stuff as simplistic as possible. You know, I used to feel like, you know, you grow up, and this is a sidebar, so those of you who need to go, you can go and go to bed. We're done with 30 days of thanks. Stop it. But it used to be to a point where, you know, you study all of this stuff and you try to give people all of this information and, you know, try to not necessarily show them that you know the word or whatever, but sometimes you feel like you got to prove to people that you know all of this stuff in the Bible. And sometimes you forget that the people who you're speaking and preaching to don't really know as much as you think they know. And sometimes they need it broken down like they're, hey, Andrea, how are you? I miss you. Hi, Miss Sadie. How are you? I see y'all popping in on Facebook. And so, you know, some people need it broken down. Some people, even the people who you think, like, they need it broken down. Like, they need simple terms, like simple phrases, simple things to be able to apply the word of God and to be able to apply principles in the word of God. And so I'm honored that, you know, for me, my specifically where I am at my church, we have a lot of newcomers, people who come where they, you know, either like they've never believed before, or this, you know, they're coming back to church, right? Or they've never been to church. And so when you're thinking about people, new believers, unbelievers, unconvinced people, people who, whatever the case may be, maybe have had a different experience. When you are teaching people, my prayer lately has really been, Lord, help me to break it down to the point of where when they walk away, and similar to what I do for the life scopes, I want you to be able to implement and not be able to walk away thinking like, now, what did she say? Now, what was I supposed to do? Or that sounded really good, but I'm not sure even how to use that. And so to answer your question, Dr. T, I had a lot of people come up to me and just say, I really enjoyed what you shared. You made it simple for me. I really understood it. And that was my prayer. So yesterday was really good. It was. And my pastor, he wasn't there. And so, listen, you keep grinding and building and doing what you got to do, love, because you're doing it. And so, you know, my pastor's son is there. And so he said, I killed it. You know, when the kids say you killed it, then that means that you did a good job. And so he's my kill it, you know. So they were hungry for the word. Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, people want real conversation. People want real application. People don't want you to be talking over their heads. And sometimes I think we forget that it's great that you know the word, but some people don't know the word. And so some people, it's even like the phrase that says people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so if people just think that like you're just kind of spewing out scriptures just to show how much you know scriptures, you can't assume that everybody knows what you're teaching. And so, you know, that's one of the things that I have learned at my church is that you cannot assume that people know what we call Christianese, right? Certain phrases, certain things. Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, I'm this. Everybody doesn't talk like that. And so when we understand, you know, that we have, especially if we're trying to reach unbelievers, like we forget and we say, okay, well, I'm trying to be a witness and I'm trying to be a light. And if you're trying to be a light in darkness, then you got to be mindful that these people don't know. They don't know. Like, it's not even about what they don't know. They don't know. And so we can't get so caught up in talking Bible and talking Christianese that we forget that these folks don't know that. You know what I mean? And so you should come visit, Andrea. Absolutely. You should totally come visit whenever you get a chance. Like I tell people, like depending upon when your church service is. So we have a 9:30 and 11:15. And so for a lot of people, they have like an 11 o'clock service. So if you guys come to the 9:30 service, you can be out in time for your 11 o'clock service. Even if you have to leave a little early. But yeah, so at any rate, yesterday was good. And, you know, for me as a teacher and a speaker, like that's something that I love doing. So it's always great just to be, it says, can I shout? You know what? The funny part says, say that again, D. People don't care how much you know. Yes. So people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I did speak at both services. If you want to run around, absolutely. Now, we are not a hucking and bucking church. I'm just going to be honest. We're not a hucking and bucking church. We are, you know, we have really good worship. But at the end of the day, if you take off running, take off running. Like, take off running. If you need to take off running, looking for something different, no shade. Yeah, listen. Just listen. Just come visit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm definitely hungry for the word. I'm reestablishing. So just asking that he orders my steps. Absolutely. And, you know, and if you're hungry, he will start to give you, spend some time in the word, K. Caesar. Start, you know, asking God. It says, I'm Kojic from birth. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so it definitely will be different. You don't have to come with your church hat on. You don't have to come with your stockings on. You can most assuredly come, you know, dressed in some jeans and some comfortable boots and a cute little sweater, and you'll be good to go. My church is totally a different church. I tell people, like, it's different. It's not like I'm Baptist. I grew up Baptist and I'm Apostolic Pentecostal. And so, and my church is not that. But there's so much that I've learned from my church that I just believe that we have to stop putting God in a box to the point of where we feel like if it's not this, then God ain't in it. And I think, and the other part is, hey, Marquisa, hey, love, how are you? It's been a minute. Because, you know, we come from, it's like us, that's like you going to Africa to a different church and they don't do what you do. And you like, oh no, God ain't in there. I don't know what these folks is doing. Well, some of it is cultural. And some of it is just based on like what you know, you know what I mean? That's just, you know, and so I think we have to be in a space where when we go to somewhere different, we ask God to show us what it is that we need to learn from there and help us to be open. You know what I'm saying? Help us to be open, because guess what? If the only people who we're looking, you know, to minister to are the people who look like us and the people who, and when I mean look like us, I'm talking about church folk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we say we want to be able to reach folk who are not in church, but we don't relate to them. We don't relate to them. We can't have conversation with them. And so I think, you know, and this is a totally different conversation than kind of what I'm having conversation with Andrea about, just about, you know, getting a shout and that sort of thing. But I think just on the other side of when we talk about, you know, ministering, and when we talk about, like, I think we have to be clear that, you know, God can move in Tim Hortons in a conversation with somebody, and somebody can say, hey, you know, I met this lady and, you know, I just felt like, you know, God was talking to me through her. And you didn't say anything about Jesus. You didn't say anything about God. You loved on her. You had conversation with her. And so I think, you know, it's kind of like the, you know, when Jesus had conversation with the woman at the well. He needs to be able to minister people and meet people where they are. We can change their lives. Period. No matter what. I believe, Andrea, that you will have an opportunity to minister to more people through kitty cabs than you will in a church. Period. And I think as you're training your people and talking to your people and connecting to your people, and that's what I think we have to understand, that we have opportunities. Janique, you have opportunities to minister people at ECMC and in the political realm and that sort of thing. Like for some of us, like, we have to understand that it's outside of the four walls of the church. Like, we can go and we can get what we need, but then if the conversation only is staying in the church, then who's meeting with the people who are not coming to church?
Mom.
Yes.
Is it almost time to go to bed?
It is almost time to go to bed. Okay, my baby is tired, so I gotta get going, y'all. I was not supposed to. Y'all had me talking an extra 10 minutes. Yes, and on that note, go vote tomorrow. Absolutely go vote. At meet people at their point of need. Absolutely. You want to meet people where they are. Don't talk over their head. Don't, you know what I mean? Again, you know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And there's a thing that's called the know, like, trust factor. And it's like, people don't do business with businesses. People do businesses with people. And so people will do business with you if they like you. People, you know, and it's interesting because people say, well, how are you able to do X, Y, and Z? How are you able to get this favor? You know what I mean? People support me because they love me. People support me, you know, because they believe in what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for that. You know, there's some people out there who are doing some good things who don't have relationship. It's about relationship. And if you don't have relationship and if you don't have connection, then you don't have anything. Jesus had relationship. He made connection.
Mom.
Absolutely, Andrea. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a ministry and a business. And if those people can make connection with the parents, and they can make, and okay, so let me share this and I'm really going to go. So one of our 5 family values at my church is called widening the circle. And widening the circle really just basically says that like for my son who's 6 years old and he goes to our children's ministry, that there are other people outside of me, that there at some point in time there will be, you know, come a time where he may not necessarily listen to me, but there will be other people that he will listen to, right? And so you want to widen the circle with people who can sow into him and pour into him with the same level that I would pour into him, even though he may not listen to me. And I even expanded this from an adult standpoint, that we have to widen our circle. And so for some of us, you know, like for you, Andrea, with your business, that's widening the circle, because what's happening now is those parents trust you with their kids, and so they're widening the circle to be able to allow somebody to be able to connect with their kids and protect their kids in a way that other people would not. And so you are literally widening that circle and providing an opportunity for parents to be able to trust that in a time where they can't necessarily transport their kids here and there, they know that you can do that. And so for many of us, we need to widen the circle. We need to be able to connect with other people who can speak into our lives, and we might be the circle that is being widened for other people, right? And so I think we need to understand that when it comes down to ministry, when it comes down to everything that we do, it is a part of ministry. It is a part of who we are. And so when you're connecting with people, you want to widen the circle so that it's not just a core group of people, but you have some people outside of that circle who can also either pour into you or pour into your children at the appointed time. And on that note, go vote tomorrow. Do not vote. And on that note, my son is extremely tired, and I'm going to go and put him to bed. I was not supposed to be on this long. This will probably be the longest one that we will do. But I thank y'all for joining me tonight. I thank you all. Go back and check out the replay for day 6, being thankful for health today. And again, I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow night. Same time, same place for day 7 of 30 Days of Thanks. Bye, everybody.